Let me introduce you to the Kombi. It was made by Alfred C. Kemper in America in 1892, and it was a combined camera and graphoscope. That was the word they used in those days for what we would probably call today a slide viewer. Now, the Kombi is one of the few cameras I actually display in my collection alongside its box, and I think you'll agree there's a very nice box with a lovely logo on it. Let's take the Kombi out of the box then and see what it looks like. What we have here is a very small roll film camera. It was actually the first non-Kodak camera for which Kodak made film. Now, the first thing you need to know is something about its size, how big it is, or to be more precise, how small it is. So here's a picture of it beside a number 2 Brownie. Now, in order to load the film into the Kombi, we need to first of all take the film back off, and it simply pulls off of the body. You can see it here on the left. And inside that film back, there is first of all a circular mask, and under that there's a platen over which the film is going to run. So first of all, you have to remove the mask. That simply slides aside, and then the platen underneath drops out. Reveals the 2 rollers onto which you're going to put the film, and this has to be done in the dark because the film arrived just raw. It didn't have any backing paper or anything like that. You took it into the dark room, threaded the film onto one roller, took it up, threaded it onto the other roller, put that platen underneath, slid the mask in place and pushed the back onto the body. Once the back is in place, there's a small metal slide which you can see here that fits over the body. It's not actually to keep the back in place or anything like that. It's simply to remind you that the film is loaded. And if you look very carefully, you'll see the word loaded engraved into the side of that piece of metal. Right, let's see how we take a picture. Moving on to the front of the body, you'll see there are just 1 or 2 controls. Basically, first of all, there's this sliding lever on the front, which you can see pointing left at the moment. And what you do is you just slide that lever over so that it's pointing right, and that tensions the shutter. Next, there's a little piece of metal behind that, which sort of traps the lever. You press that initially, and the lever springs to the middle setting, which opens the shutter. Then you press that piece of metal again, and it springs all the way over to the left and closes the shutter. So that's how you can take time exposures. If you press that piece of metal very, very fast and very firmly, then it will go all the way through the middle setting over to the left setting, which means the shutter opens very briefly and closes again for something like a 30th of a second. According to advertisements of the day, you could take about 25 exposures to 1 roll of film. You then took that away to be processed, and you either processed it as a direct positive, or you used the negative strip to contact print it and make a positive film strip, which you then loaded back into the camera. So it goes into the film back that you can see again here, but this time without either the mask or the platen. So with the film now loaded back into the camera back and the camera back attached again to the body, we are now ready to view the pictures. So we turn our attention to the back of the body where there's this little circular plate that you can see here. A small turn on that plate and it drops out to let light into the body, as you can see through the aperture at the back here. All you then do is turn the camera around, open the shutter on the time exposure, put your eye up against the lens, wind the film through and watch your pictures. And that's, I guess, why there are actually 2 film wind knobs so that you can wind it backwards and forwards. So there we are, the Kombi, a combined camera and graphoscope from 1892.